Do you think I would risk my law degree for any individual? Never mind a reprehensible individual by Jeffrey Epstein, I would not. But what I'm about is the truth. And let me tell the people of the Virgin Islands, this attempt at intimidation will pass.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
How do we hold accountable these folk? I'm really struggling with the stories that are coming out about Representative Stacey Plaskett, primarily because she's somebody that I've enjoyed watching. I've enjoyed the way in which she has been strong in Congress and, is not back down, walks and chews gum. She votes on the right side of the issues that matter. She is literally has been holding people's feet to the fire, and now she's under the fire. I want to talk about what that is supposed to look like and how should we discuss it. And we should discuss it, right? We should discuss it. There are several others who have been indicted. Should we discuss it? And how should we discuss it? I've been very intentional about Letitia James in particular as the allegations or whatever, because I'm like, yeah, I know what that is, but I also want to be fair, because there's some of these cases that are like people shouldn't have done those things. Because you're under the ether. Why are you doing these things? It's like, come on, y'all. You don't think you're going to get caught out there? And when you get caught out there, what should be the response? Because really, again, they're representatives. They're not our friends. They're not our family members. They could be your family members, but they're really not. They're elected officials who are there to serve the people. And once you can't serve the people, should you still be able to serve the people? And as I'm saying this, I'm remembering Adam Clayton Powell, who got censured, who literally was stripped of all of his power in Congress. And he was still somebody that was fighting for the people of Harlem and for the people, the black folk of the United States of America. That man was still going hard in the paint. Sure. He had some personal dalliances that were not necessarily, appropriate, but it did not, to me, disqualify him as being a powerhouse of a representative, baby. Black power is power, but like he was still that guy. He was the guy that was fighting for the rights of people for their housing. He was out there doing rent strikes and things in Harlem and Sunday in the pulpit. Now you can say what you want about the affairs and all of that, but did any of that impede his ability to fight for you? Well, I guess once they censured him, but they were always gunning for him, which would also, I guess, make you say, well, they're gunning for me. Let me make sure that my T's are crossed and I's are dotted. But can there be enough T crossing and I dots when you are a liberator or somebody that is fighting for the rights of people and they don't like you? Can you cross enough T's, dot enough I's? Will they always find something? So I'm struggling with how to talk about it, because I think those of us with platforms, we have to talk about all of the things and we have to be fair in the midst of it. And we don't have to talk about all of the things. We can cherry pick what we talk about. But I do think at this point, accountability as we march towards the midterms and as we have been railing on these airwaves and being very vociferous about what it is that we're going to be doing over the next 350 plus days until we get to the midterms and beyond, because this is the maintenance of that, right? We have to continue. We have to pick better candidates, better representatives. We have to vote in every election and up and down the ballot, and for dog catcher and representative and school board and state reps and all. We have to do all of the things, but we also have to then hold people accountable. And what does that look like? And how should we do that? And how do we do that with love, with grace, and with intention? 866-801-8255. So I want to start there.
Representative Plaskett have anything to say? Business Insider has reported on this as recently as, I believe, July of 2023, about meeting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2018 and receiving $30,000 campaign contribution?
Jeffrey Epstein was a resident of the Virgin Islands. He wanted to make contributions to the Democratic Party. He asked for contributions. He made contributions to my campaign. I do believe that he was a reprehensible person. And after finding out what he had done, I gave the money that he had contributed to my campaign to nonprofit organizations dealing with supporting women and children in my community. What is happening here? I feel sorry for my colleagues. I feel sorry for this body. I see members coming and speaking against me who I've never even had a conversation with. You don't know me. You don't know the work that I've done. You don't know the support that I've given to families, to individuals, to support people. I worked a full-time job with children under the age of 5, going to school, law school at night. Do you think I would risk my law degree for any individual? Never mind a reprehensible individual by Jeffrey Epstein, I would not. But what I'm about is the truth. And let me tell the people of the Virgin Islands, this attempt at intimidation will pass. We in the Virgin Islands do not back down from a fight. That is how we won our freedom, and that is how we will continue to grow our equality.
Okay. So yesterday I mentioned that there was a censure vote on the floor, on the House floor, to basically remove Stacey Plaskett from a bunch of her seats that she's on and committees, and it failed. So last night they voted 209 to censure her, 214 to not censure her last night. So that a censure is a form of reprimand. And 3 House Republicans, Don Bacon from Nebraska, Lance Gooden from Texas, and Dave Joyce of Ohio, voted with all of the Democrats against the measure. And to her point, y'all don't even know. You didn't ask. You just, oh, it's Democratic red meat or Republican, whatever the red meat is, to dig further. And the media didn't help. Let me just say, the stories that were out didn't give any nuance, didn't give any, other perspective. It was just here the Jeffrey Epstein texted her during this hearing, gave her questions, and that all happened, but in the context of when it happened and where he was at the time, because there were pictures, and I'm not going to defend the behavior. I'm just going to say this is another reason why we need to remove money from politics. This is another reason why no representative should have to get money from anybody. They should just go to the people. And I think corporations and big time donors should not be involved in donating to campaigns, period. Because why was he really putting money in her pocket? Why? Because there is an exchange. If somebody gives you money, while she may have donated it to very worthy causes, you're taking his text. You're taking his call, and you may not want to be associated with this cretin at all. But the man has put, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars in your coffers so that you can run a campaign. We should not have this much money in our politics, period. That said, we should also not just all money ain't good money. We've heard that many, many times. But what do you do? And I'm really asking a good question. And I would love to hear from people, particularly those who are thinking about running for office. 866-801-8255. Like, what should she have done? Would she have lost if she didn't take the money? I got questions. But I'm glad that, they didn't censure her because, as I mentioned, she's been on the right side of just about every vote. I don't know her complete voting record. I didn't go through a deep dive, but she seems to be, out there standing on business on a lot of the things that matter to the majority of people who care about people. And it's just interesting. I mentioned Adam Clayton Powell, who the Congress of that time, 1967, they had a special committee to punish him for what they called, what did they say he did? A bunch of stuff. But they basically wouldn't seat him. And they voted 307 to 116 to exclude Adam Clayton Powell from his seat in Congress. Well, he ran again and got reelected. He got elected because the people, we are the power. So you may feel like you can do whatever you want because y'all are this power. No, the people said, no, we want him, and they voted for him. While they gave, they gave his seats away because he was on some really powerful committees. The bottom line is he was able to go back into Congress because the people voted him back, and that's the way it should always be. They represent us, not these interests, and these powerful people should not be playing marionette with our rights and resources, which is what politics is all about. So I'm glad that she did not get censured.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will